What's going on, motherfuckers? Welcome to the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. My name is Naaackers, and today is Sunday, May 2020. It's the 17th of May, and we are in the year 2020. Hi, this is episode number 120 in 2020. For whatever reason, I was looking at the shit, and I saw 120, and I went, holy fuck. 120 episodes, and I don't know why I've seen 114, 115, 116, all of these numbers leading up. But for whatever reason, just looking at 120 kind of spooked me a little bit. So
the podcast is
it's I can't believe we made it to podcast 120.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here for the podcast.
I'm happy to be here for the podcast as well. Check your Discord.
Look here.
Fuck! I'm like, okay, where is it?
I went ahead and copied and pasted the exact same announcement and put it in my Discord as well.
God,
yeah, I tweeted podcast is life. And
podcast is live. Podcast is life.
God damn it, man. I don't think out of all of the things that I could probably improve in my life to become a better content creator, to become a better entertainer, spell check is just not going to be one of them. I have just accepted that I will never get better. And it's not that maybe I'm a bad speller, but here's the thing. It's almost like I know. I think that I'm spell checking. Like, I think that I go back and check myself. Like, shut the fuck up. But then I still make the same mistakes anyways. But thankfully I have a nice community that will send me messages like, hey, that that 2-paragraph message you just added everyone in Discord about your grandmother passing away. Here are your 17 typos. And here's a little bit of grammar help as well. So I always love when people help me out with that kind of stuff. But anyways, hi, welcome to the podcast. Again, my name is Naaackers, and with me tonight I have the MiddleAgedStream and BishopGP. Motherfucker.
Got him, dude. Roasted.
How did you do that?
Dude,
Wait a minute.
I time it perfectly. Every single podcast.
I
resub.
I have fucking
podcast
alerts muted. What the shit? I don't know how that came through.
Wait, there's alerts, guys. People donate.
Yo. Hey,
the bot.
He's a hacker. You didn't know?
Hacker
That's
man.
True. I am a hacker.
He
man.
hacked it. You need to leave it in. Don't edit it out of the show.
I won't.
I'm Mr. Robot.
Don't post. No. Don't edit. Don't edit this in post. Okay.
Well, unfortunately, I can't because of the OBS issues that I've been having recently. I can't actually record in multi-track mode. I'm recording to a single audio track, which triggers me inside.
What kind of plebe podcast are we even on? Like, is this
podcast.
what it?
Hold on, get it right. It's a fucking podcast.
You're right. That's why there's no S in podcast, because we're just a podcat, not a podcast. Apparently, we don't even have multi-track recording. I mean, I don't even know. Whatever, Naaackers, go ahead.
So from now on, if I talk over Naaackers while he's trying to talk, he can no longer split out his points. I'm just gonna go yes, yes.
I know. We're all good friends,
yes,
and we're bantering.
Right, yes,
we're bantering right now, but you're both hurting my feelings, like deep down. Knowing that we can't record in multi-track is hurting my feelings. I am
totally being sarcastic.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I know.
It's just Bentamate.
It's funny though, because I know that, how much when it comes to technology and the things that you're into, to not be able to do that is
knowing every poop that I've had since recording in single track mode. Unsatisfactory.
Hey man, I thought this was a PG-13 podcast.
Podcast was PG-13. The podcast.
The podcast is rated X.
Oh, this is the after dark. We dropped the S for
X.
after dark.
No, X.
It's after dark, but also Elliot is fucking Icarus with how close to the sun he is right now. Just the sunshine.
I kind of like Billiot, honestly. I think we should go with Billiot.
Billiot.
Icarus,
the man on the space station. Yeah, it's still bright outside. It's crazy how fucking sunny it is. It's insane.
What's kind of queered as well.
What?
I tried to say cool and weird, and it came out queered.
Well, that's queer,
man.
When we did
so queered.
When we did podcasts in the wintertime, because of the daylight savings time, whenever we would start the podcast, I would always recall seeing cars on the highway outside of your window. But now because you are super close to the sun, you can't see anything. But you also did up your ISO too.
Yeah, we pulled in the sun towards the end of the season here. But yeah, it's nice and bright. Thank you for noticing that again, Naaackers. It is beautiful outside.
Sure.
It's very strange. It's still weird. I mean, what is it, like 6 p.m. for me?
It is.
And like, I feel like it's dark in California right now, but in Oregon, it's just like, nah, fuck it.
I have a serious question for you.
Yep.
Being someone, how long have you lived in the Northwest or in the northern states where you have this sort of situation, I should say, or the northern part of the continent?
I used to live in Seattle when I was a kid, but I don't ever remember it being this crazy. But I lived in Arizona for a very long time. And in Arizona, it seemed like it was like it would get dark later at night, but it was never this late. Like it'll be like the whole podcast, it'll just be sunny outside.
Okay, you gave me a good point of reference for this. So because you noticed you were born though further north? Okay, so that makes sense. So being someone who is used to living closer to the sun, did you find that when you left the north and then came back to the north, that your superpowers began to return to you? And that as you got closer to the sun, you were getting all your powers back?
Yeah,
like, do you have those powers now?
The further north that I went, the less blood that was rushing to my penis constantly.
Yes. Okay.
So I had more of an ability to think, if that's what you were getting at.
Okay. No, it's the perfect answer. It's the perfect answer to this question.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great way to start the podcast, but I've been tracking that metric on a Google spreadsheet.
I saw as the punchline of the story came out, I saw Naaackers' face just kind of shift for a second when he realized I was just BSing and it wasn't actually a serious question. And yeah, it was fun.
Wait, that wasn't serious?
I mean, it was totally serious. It was totally serious.
Superpower penis.
I'm just a joke to you now.
No.
This is just embarrassing. Wow.
I had a coworker one time who began, after a weekend, he began to explain the plot to Big Trouble Little China as if that was the weekend that he had. And I was just following along the story like, oh my God, this is the most riveting story that I've ever heard from a coworker. And he's like, and so yeah, that's the plot of the movie. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Why would you do that to me? Because he was another person that always knew that I never watched any TV or movies, so he could just start saying a plot to a movie, even something well known like Forrest Gump, and I would just have no fucking idea what he was talking about.
What was the name of that movie?
Big Trouble Little Penis.
Trolls 2. No. Trolls World 2.
Tour. Okay. The Emoji
Trolls
movie.
World. Yeah.
Actually, let's just stop and thank our sponsor, the Emoji Movie 2. It hasn't been announced yet. This is their time. This is the first time it's been announced is on this podcast. But Emoji Movie 2 is coming to a theater near you. Starring
BishopGP
and Justin Timberlake
as handyman number 4 in 23 minutes into the movie, in the upper left hand corner of the fourth frame of that second.
You can see me really doing my thing. I do have something called an NDA or something like that, but I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. Movie's coming out. It's gonna be really cool. I've got like 3 or 4 frames in it. We'll see if they give me a longer part and they bring me back to film or like a more of a an adaptive role. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Can you give us a quick snapshot?
I can't wait.
I also can't wait, and actually I can't wait so much that I need to see a sneak peek. Can you show us? Let's pretend you're on scene and you're framing some windows for a nice sunroom, somebody's house. You're handyman number 4. Okay.
Hold on a second, Naaackers. We really got to be careful about what we ask here, so he doesn't break his NDA.
Correct.
You know what I mean,
so there's actual.
I think it's worth establishing that I don't know what that is. So I think we could just go ahead and proceed.
Correct. Yeah, so we're just gonna move forward. All right. So you're handyman number 4. You're in a sunroom. You're framing windows, and I just want an example of your acting experience. If you were to take a break and drink some lemonade that was given to you by the homeowner,
they had to mocap him. He had to go do a mocap suit for this.
Can we see what you would look like if you were taking?
Can we describe this for the audio listeners?
Walk through this, yes.
Yes. Okay. Bishop is out of frame. He's out of frame. He's adjusting to make his penis look just quite a bit larger. He has a telescope or what looks to be some sort of peeping Tom apparatus at the window. He walks in slowly. He looks around. He doesn't even know what he's doing because he's not an actual fucking handyman. Jimmy, what's going on next?
Oh, it looks like he's measuring something. Or I can't tell if he's trying to pantomime, if he's afraid of the wall. It looks like he's trying to pantomime. I'm pretty sure he thinks he's a mime now. Now he's pulling up the window frame. He's staring out below. It appears he's
testing.
What is he doing?
He's testing the frame stability of the window that he just built. So
he's putting himself behind the window frame in the street. Can you imagine if you looked up in the street below right now? What would you see? What would you see if you were standing outside Bishop's building?
Nothing
right
but butt cheeks. I also love
butt cheeks pressed against that window.
The scene setting was take a sip of liquid of some sort, and we've now migrated over to the window.
The dad jeans. He's not even a dad. He's rocking the dad.
Oh my
jeans,
god! Can we get one of those Instagram girl butt lift?
Wow, that looks good.
Get the finger under the
or dad pants. He's definitely got that dad life look going about him a little bit with nicer hair, of course.
Very nice.
Yeah, that was pretty much the scene. So I just kind of walked through it.
It was good, man. You did good. It's cool
I was simulating an elevator, so that was like a fully elevator. So that was kind of
this bit went on way longer than I thought it would.
It's all right because it was the perfect amount of time for me to have some sort of list of documented transgressions, and you'll be hearing from my lawyers. You NDA breaking motherfucker! I am the marketing team, and I am the lawyers.
I will have my team contact your team. Okay.
Oh, we're to that level now that we're a podcat. We now have our own teams.
We have we have staff. We've staffed this entire show with hundreds of interns.
It's actually kind of funny because Jimmy has had to contact your people to make sure that you were available for a podcast in the past before.
That is true. Yes. Yeah. I have one specific person that typically hears from everyone when I don't respond to messages.
I always know you're there, but at which capacity is always the question.
I had to go through his agent.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to go through my agent. I mean, the good thing for me is that this podcast is a little easier for me to sign up for than for the people coming on next week. But I think Jimmy wanted to take that.
Do I want to take the reins on that one?
Yeah, do you want to take the reins on that one a little bit?
Can we just pass it to Jimmy?
Let me ask you a question, Naaackers.
Yeah.
I have a question. This is serious. Very serious. Okay? I'm serious. This one is actually serious.
This one is going to be probably really serious, so just be ready.
Here's my question. Do you have enough people for next week's show?
I actually just got an email that one person had to cancel, so no.
So you still need one more person?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you post it in more than one place than Twitter?
Discord as well.
Oh, I didn't see it in your Discord. I was looking for it.
There's a conspiracy.
I think I did.
We feel like you're trying to make it hard to get on the podcast.
Bro!
You're trying to protect us from people.
I even used an @ tag in my Discord. That's how much I tried to get. I didn't use in everyone because I try to use those.
I just saw a link to your Twitter on here, to your Twitter announcement.
Yeah, that has a video explaining how to enter.
I don't watch videos.
Oh my god. There's literally 5 tweets that are threaded together.
To watch videos, man.
It's in video and it's in text.
I just need everything in text in front of me.
Okay.
How am I supposed to watch this if it's not on TikTok? Okay, first of all, right? The fact that it's not on TikTok, I'm going to take that as an offense.
The fact that you had hidden instructions in your video is just insulting to me. Okay?
If you expect people to have this benign fucking technology called email,
I'm insulted.
Listen.
I'm insulted.
Listen. You are the problem, you headline reading only boomer. If you clicked on the Twitter link, everything that's in the video is in text. I gave it in 2 different fucking things.
Your Twitter link is here's how to join. Read them all, please. Show this thread. Your Twitter link had 2 retweets and 6 likes. I was one of the retweets. And you go down 3 tweets showing that there's 7 slots open, and you ask people to email you with your username, Discord name, and time slot. Why wouldn't you just make like a Google form?
Why would I want to do that instead? What's the difference?
Because
eliminates
2020.
You see, you can't even give me an answer. You're coming with that shit.
2020, you're asking. Okay, this is teacher me doing it right now.
Okay.
This is teacher me. Not just, so I'm trying to make it as simple as a student as possible, where they do all those 3 things in one step. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's all.
Now, okay, now I'm gonna flip it the other way and say, all right, and say,
flip it around.
Yeah, flip it on us. It's our fault.
Flip it on us. Yeah, it's our fault now, right?
Out of the kindness of my heart, I opened up my podcast to random people, and in response, I get, make it easier for me.
No,
that's what I heard.
It's a response from the people on the podcast.
Look,
because
I'm glad you have enough people. I was just saying, if you didn't have enough, I was gonna make fun of you for not having enough.
because I didn't advertise it enough.
The information. That's why.
Okay.
I was gonna make fun of you.
You should have made a TikTok, Boomer.
I was gonna make a TikTok about this, even though I don't have a TikTok account. I was gonna make one just for this, but now I don't have to. So.
And then I was gonna say, all right, use the sound and duo me or whatever it's called, duet me, and then use my sound, and the sound would just be. I don't understand why this guy did this. He could have made a Google form. He's supposed to be some sort of tech whiz, and he's having people email him his Discord information through email. Duet this with a video very similar with something that's overly complicated.
And do you want to know why I make it semi-complicated? Because it deters the clout chasers, which is exactly the furthest thing that I want to be from. So
that's why. That's my problem. Is I'm a clout chaser, so I'm looking for the easy. I'm looking for the easy way in.
So looking back, I will agree with you. I look back and I said, that announcement was kind of sloppy. But here's the other funny part: is, and this happens. I guarantee you guys have had this happen to you as streamers. Do you know how many times people say, I want to be on your show. I want to be on your show. Hey, when you have a spot, let me open your show. And then I go, my show is open to anybody who can use fucking email, you boomer assholes. And then, you know how many people actually reach out?
You should have turned it into a Fortnite event, dude. If you would have worked with Fortnite.
Yeah, dude. You could have just worked with Fortnite. It would have been the Naaackers Fortnite event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Zoom. On Zoom TV or Zoom. What is this thing called? Zoom calls? Zoomer.
Yes. Zoom video calls, you fucking boomer.
Zoomer podcasts.
Zoom.
So now that I do have an open slot, I am going to, my plan was this coming week to retweet the tweet and to get some more interest. But I just thought it was funny how over the past year, even over the past 2 years, the amount of people that have been like, I want to be on your show. And then I say, who wants to be on the show? Chirp, 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 chirp.
It's like when I used to play Fortnite on stream. Like if I was
you
doing
used to stream?
Yeah, I used to stream. That's even crazier than the idea that I used to play Fortnite. But if you open something up for everyone to be like all inclusive, people don't want to be a part of it. But if you are like, hey, I need someone to play with me, you'll get like 1,000 inquiries, you know?
Right. There, I don't know if you guys were guests when this was happening. There used to be people that would just go around the just chatting section and click on different podcasts, join their Discord, join the voice channels, like sit in the voice channels, ping you like, hey, let me in the call. I want to talk. And they would just do that. And it's funny because those people, obviously because they're not watching, because they're only looking for the instant gratification of butt fucking you while you're live. They're not going to be on the show anyways, but
yeah.
I'm trying to think of, there's other examples where, people that come into Twitch chat for tech support. Like when you are the most busy and when you have the least attention span possible, they'll come in and ask you all the questions. And I say, hey, here is my email. Direct to my fucking face. Email me your problem and I will spend my own time apart from streaming helping you. Crickets. I can't even count on my fucking dicks how many times somebody's come in to ask questions. I'm like, hey, can you do me a favor? And, I'm a little busy right now trying to, like do my thing. Send me an email. I will give you one-on-one tech support. Yeah. And nothing. But that's just the cloud chasing nature of the business. It's just how it goes.
But maybe that's a good strategy. Maybe by doing that, you actually deter you spending a ton of time. I've noticed, I don't know if you've noticed this, but especially with tech support stuff, when people ask you for your recommendation, they typically don't follow anything that you say. And they end up doing something completely different.
No, and I don't know why I continue to do it after the fact. My favorite, this is my absolute favorite, is when I give somebody number or bulleted questions like, what is your CPU? What is your RAM? All these questions, answer all 5. Here you go. And then they respond with one answer out of all of them. It's like, they're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? How do people want help so bad? But then when you actually deliver the help on a silver platter, it's fuck. How do we get here? How do we get here tonight?
Yeah. It happened with me. I know it happens with Casey a lot with like camera recommendations and stuff. Like people ask what cameras are good and what like lenses are good, and then people just come back and they were, let's say they offered up, they're like, hey, should I go with like an A7 III, an A7S, or like should I use an A6500 or something like that? We're like, oh, and she goes through the effort, and I've done this in the past where like we go through the effort of like looking at the cameras and looking at the specs and everything, and then giving them the differentials, and all of a sudden like 3 days later the person gets back and they're like, oh yeah, I went with a Nikon something. It's like, that's literally like not even one of the things that I even recommended, but cool. All right, man, it's cool, sounds good, like that's good. Good thing I put my time into that to give you a realistic recommendation. But that happens a lot. It's surprising.
By the way, I took your recommendation and I just pooped it out. I went ahead and got a Go XLR and Shure SM7B. So thank you. Thank you. Which again,
I don't know if that's ever happened. I don't know if anyone's like, I usually recommend like high end stuff, and then I kind of give them like step down so then they can see like how to get somewhere close for the different price points. And I don't think that anyone's ever actually taken any of those recommendations. Like, I think everyone's gone and bought different shit. I'm like, okay, like that's cool. Okay, but like I would have been cool if they were like, hey, like let's say it was between like an A7 III and an A7S and whatever camera, right? And they were like, okay, maybe I'll go with the A6000. And then if they reached back out to me and said, hey, I'm actually considering this camera, what do you think about that? I would give them my feedback based on that, but they never ask me for the thing that they end up buying.
Right.
Like, what's the point? Why am I here? This is a waste of my time.
I think for the most part, people are just looking for the validation of their already made up mind rather than actual recommendations. I find that a lot about Twitch chat in general sometimes.
Yeah. Definitely true. That's definitely true.
Jimmy, what are you thinking about right now?
If I really want to go get another whiskey.
I mean, after this first 20 minutes of conversation, I'm going to guess yes. You're almost. That was the only whiskey you were planning on at first?
Just going down too smooth, man. I mean, it was a full, like a good amount. It was a regular drink on the rocks, and it was just going down too tasty, man.
Hey, you can't blame the guy. You know what I mean?
I can't.
I'm having a good time.
I cannot.
It's too smooth.
Speaking of drinking, Bishop, what do you have in your glass?
Or should I have a Tamalo Cider Co. Hand cherry blossom cider. We were at Whole Foods and I picked this out myself. Upon a recommendation from Casey, I was just like, hey, I want something to drink. I want a beer. And then I was like, wait, I want a hard cider. And then she's like, yeah, that one looks good. And I was like, yep, the label looks nice, pretty hipster. And I was like, all right, let's get her done. And it's pretty good. It's pretty solid. It's pretty solid.
Is it
like
tart?
Something you'd find on like a pirate ship.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It tastes. Yeah. It tastes like honestly, it tastes like a cider. It tastes delicious.
Like a cider. Yeah, it's a beer. It tastes like beer.
Imagine me reviewing food. Like, okay, hey, we're gonna try the cider today. Take a sip.
What's it taste like?
What's it taste like? It tastes like cider. It's fucking good.
What's that cheese taste like? Tastes like cheese.
This tastes like cheese to me, my guys. You gotta proc this thing up. This thing is good. We
were talking about This might have been Bishop before you got here, because you were on time. Jimmy and I were talking.
Wow.
Jimmy and I were talking about cheese, and sometimes I walk to the fridge and I take out a block of cheese and I just take a bite out of it and I eat the cheese. Do you guys enjoy mixing pickles and cheese? Like, will you ever just make yourself a pickle and cheese plate? Pickles on one side, cheese on the other?
When I was younger, not so much now.
Really? Like, not at all.
I just don't really. I mean, I don't hate them. I just don't. It's just not my thing.
I definitely don't like sweet pickles. I'm a dill pickle guy.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. But no, I just I never really have a craving for pickles. I'm not totally against them, and once in a blue moon, I'll eat some. But yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because you started this conversation out by saying that it was a conversation about cheese, but I think that's the nature of most of your guys' conversations is that they are cheese.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that they end up being about pickles.
That would be accurate too, honestly.
They start about pickles and then they end up with just cheese. Yeah. But that's weird. Did you wait before we kind of move on? I hate to go back to this real quickly, but
go ahead, Zoomer.
Did you say that? Yeah, did you say that you go into the fridge and pull out a block of cheese and take a bite out of it?
Yes, I have my cooking cheese, and then I have my sharp cheddar in a Ziploc bag. I take bites out of when I'm ready cheese.
Is this something that you use for cooking?
I have my cooking cheese, and then you
buy a block of cheese for the sole purpose of storing it in your refrigerator and taking random fucking caveman bites out of it from the refrigerator.
You don't take it out and slice this block of cheese.
Like you just go in there, you fucking pull a Fred Flintstone, and you just like take a big old apple.
I first want to point out that
you put your little baggie back on, you put it back in, like Weenie's walking through like nothing's wrong, like you're just eating a big massive brick of cheese.
That's probably
and stuffing it back into the. Go ahead. No, please.
Yeah,
no,
let's
explain.
give him the floor here. To
explain,
please. Maybe I'm misinterpreting things.
No, you're not. Well, if you would have listened to my sentence before you asked the question, you would have realized that I answered your question before you even asked it. But apart from that, yes,
no, I realize Yes, I know what you mean. You did it as I asked that. I realized that yes,
he has two sets of cheese. He has two sets of cheese.
You have a caveman cheese set.
That you bite into. That's the thing we're disputing here. We know that you have two sets of cheese in your fridge. You have one for cooking and one for picking up and biting.
And sometimes they get mixed up. But
Can you go get this cheese? Can you go get it and bring it back and show?
Well, I mean, what's worse, eating cheese that somebody else has had their mouth on, or a dick in your mouth? Like, let's put shit into perspective. You literally put a pee hole in your mouth. What's a little cheese with saliva on it?
I feel like these two things aren't related.
Yeah,
I think you're trying to like.
I think
you guys don't bring cheese
from his experience. They both taste.
I don't know. Like we were just talking about cheese, and you just went straight into dicks.
Wait, fight this.
And if that doesn't say
get your fucking cheese. Go get your cheese.
We asked you to get your fucking your bitey cheese, and now you're gonna make excuses. That's okay. You can make excuses.
Let me see your cheese. Show it to the camera.
I would like to see it.
I'm actually out right now.
See it also.
I don't have any cheese right now.
Oh, see, that's disappointing.
I only have.
The next time you get one, hopefully between now and the next podcast, I would like to see this block of cheese that you like to nibble from, like a fucking animal from a Disney movie that was in France, and they made things in a kitchen.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. That's the one.
Okay. Side note. And by the way, I take a single block of cheese and I usually cut it in half and separate it into two baggies. Whenever you're at the fridge, normal. You guys, you don't reach into the shredded cheese bag and just.
No. Shredded cheese, total. I've done that before, like maybe once or twice, but like we're talking about a block of cheese.
It's cheese minus the sawdust.
There is this thing called a cheese cutter. Okay, that's basically like a wire at the end of like a thing.
Yeah,
and you can cut yourselves little individual servings. That way, other people can use the block of cheese too, and not get your germs.
And shredded cheese, arguably,
and you can use a shredder.
A shredder is just is another option of cutting the cheese, so it's in different serving sizes, right?
But I'm the only block cheese eater.
You're gonna if Weenie knows that it's just you guys living there. That's the whole purpose you have is to take a big ass bite of cheese. then there's nothing wrong with that. You do you, man.
Yeah, if she knows what your cheeses are all about. Okay, she knows which cheese is your cooking cheese. You've got your
cooking cheese, your Fromage cheese,
dick cheese,
your Fromelde cheese, and then you've got
my god,
your chewing cheese.
That's the worst.
As long as there's differentiation in drawers or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
We speaking of cheese, we went to the farmer's market earlier this week, and there was a guy who made a cut. What's the style of cutting board where they take a bunch of different woods and they checker them? Butcher block. So it was one of those that had a built-in wire cheese slicer. Like
those were Fukayus.
Fuck you.
Oh, Fukayu.
No, fuck you. I you know what, you might be right about that, because there's butcher block where they take the same wood and then they offset it. But yeah, it was one of those. It was a cheese board that had a built-in slicer into it, and I'm like, I'm coming back for you someday.
Nah, dude, you've already got your system down. Just eating cheese from the fridge like a caveman.
Okay, do you have any other food like that that's not meant to be finger fucked and then put in your mouth? Do you any fridge food like that?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I've ever. Well, maybe. But
see,
no,
no. I do buy individual servings of cheese though, so I see your thing.
Okay, all right.
Like I get those cheese. I get individual servings of the Tillamook cheddar cheese.
Ooh,
and we get them in bulk, like at Costco, right? Yeah. And then we get I like the string cheese too, like mozzarella string cheese.
Yep.
And I just grab those out of the fridge. So.
Okay. Yeah, like Casey just doxed me, but I eat the plastic folded cheese, like the slices of cheese with plastic wrapped around them.
Yeah.
I grab those all the time. Like when I need a little cheese bite, Yeah. But like I don't take a bite out of I don't take the package of the slice of cheese and just go and then
no, that's like 5 slices with the plastic still on it. Oh my god.
Can I go into story time?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So today was Casey's mom's birthday. The big 69. So as a surprise, Casey in Portland, in Oregon, right? Very nice. In Oregon, we don't have In-N-Out burgers, right? So typically we don't have In-N-Out burgers. They built one back in December, and it's the only one in all of Oregon that is an In-N-Out burger. And for anyone that's on the West Coast, you know what that is. For anyone on the East Coast, you probably bitch and complain about how you think it's terrible, but shut your mouth. Basically, we went to this one In-N-Out burger. It was like an hour drive. We took her mom down there because they're both from California. And we get there, and we're like, we were expecting a little bit of a line, right? It's Sunday. It's like the one In-N-Out in all of Oregon that people can go to. And we pull up in the line, and we get to the place, and we look, and we're like, oh man, that's a really long line. We see it coming, in from the freeway when we pass the place. It turns out that it's literally like 500 cars that aren't only in the drive-through of the In-N-Out, going all the way through the parking lot of the In-N-Out. So like kind of like a feeder system. So there's like 5 lanes of cars that are all like following each other. But down the road for about a mile, no joke, a mile down the road into a baseball stadium's parking lot for like 1,000 cars or whatever, and it's teetering through the parking lot, right? So snaking all the way through the parking lot. It took us 2.5 hours to get in the back of the line and get through the line all the way, like single file line all the way to order In-N-Out burger. So we sat and we were going through it, and the whole reason I bring up the story is it was just like we were laughing because like we're like, this is hysterical. And there's a McDonald's next door that has like no fucking buddy
right
through at all, right? And people are like just sitting and trying to basically get themselves some In-N-Out on Sunday. But what was really funny is as we were like going and sitting and waiting and going through the line, and it was getting obviously shorter and shorter and shorter, and we're getting closer to the front. There was so many people that just started dive bombing us. Like they were like trying to cut in line and like cut like hours in front of people, and people are like hysterical from fucking sitting in the line for 2 hours. So there's this one guy that cut actually right in front of Casey, and her mom was in the passenger seat. She was in the driver's seat.
Oh my God, she was in the car?
She was in the car, yes.
She a nice lady?
So she starts, so Casey starts honking at this guy because he cuts her in the line, and Casey's mom's like ready to jump out of the car and like go and beat the shit. She would have, but like she was ready to like jump on this guy and start yelling at him. But it was funny because all of the cars behind us, as soon as this person cut in line, everyone was honking on their horns like, get this fucking guy out of here. But fuck it, what it really showed me is like people's like, it's crazy how entitled people are. Like whenever there's a queue, there's still always going to be these people that act stupid and try to cut the line, and they're like, oh, one guy cut the line and he's like, oh, I've been trying to get in this line 3 times and I've been told to go 3 different places. And like, meanwhile, he's like pulling into like position 10, trying to like cut 2 hours of traffic.
Yeah.
But we were sitting there the whole time like, dude, we're ready to fucking die for this. This fucking In-N-Out is so important to us.
So a couple weeks ago,
like, in a normal situation, you probably wouldn't do that. But given what's going on in the world now, having something that you wanted, it just seemed important to do it, even though it took you 2.5 hours to get it. You know, I get that.
Yeah. Pandemic or not, you're not fucking like we've been talking earlier weeks about like road rage.
I'm not talking about the people cutting. I'm just saying just the act of going out to get, not the person cutting in the line.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
I'm not excusing that behavior. I'm just saying his act of them trying to go get the burger and waiting in line. Yeah. I'm not excusing that. That's bullshit. It's like those people that when you can see that there's like a blockage in the road ahead on a freeway or something. And they'll like ride the freaking medium and cut in at the last moment, knowing that there's nowhere for them to turn. Yeah. And everyone else has already turned over, and they, and someone's going to let them in because you have to.
You're going to cause an accident.
But they jump ahead of everyone else.
Yep.
It just pisses me off, man.
So like when we were talking about road rage last week or 2 weeks before, and saying like, okay, at the end of the day, you have to remember that they could be having their worst day possible. And it's best to have compassion for the person. But when it comes to cutting lines, there's no fucking there is nothing that is more important in your life that means you're gonna get sustenance before I get my sustenance. And I love that, in this pandemic, we have seen a lot of fantastic, humane moments of people coming together. But something that transcends beyond pandemic time is when it comes to people cutting in line, no matter your race, your gender, your religion, whenever people see people cut lines, everybody binds together and they fuck that funny. Ass.
It's like, throw this fucking guy out of here. It's like an old Yankees game. But it was funny because like it's just In-N-Out, right? So like you go to California, Arizona, wherever, and you literally just drive up. It takes 10 minutes. I think that what's interesting is because it's the only one in Oregon, right? And I think it's the furthest north one, In-N-Out that they have. Like people are driving from Washington and from all over to go to this place. So that was why the line was so crazy, because people wanted to try it, right? And it's the closest place that they could go to. But it was funny because it was like this. Typically, like if I was by myself, if I saw that queue, I'd be like, "What the fuck?" Like I'm not gonna wait in this line. But it was fun, just like we were getting out of the car and during the line, like while we were waiting, I went into Target and was like shopping for fucking Wii. I was looking for NBA 2K20 for my Wii. And it's funny just because like people were like getting out and going to the stores around while they're waiting in line. And like the whole shopping mall, right, which is usually dedicated like Target, Chipotle was there. There was a McDonald's. It was like a typical strip mall. Like all of the businesses were literally being fueled by like this train of traffic that was funneling into In-N-Out Burger. So it was just kind of like this hysterical experience. And then people had like lawn chairs and shit. And like by the time we got our burgers, we like pulled into the parking lot of In-N-Out. We like opened all the doors and we're like eating off of the roof. It was just a fun experience.
A good little experience. Well, before we segue into our topics that we wanted to talk about, and speaking about just doing insane things, I just had a moment that I wanted to shout out my girlfriend because she's awesome. So you waited 2.5 hours for decent fast food, which is kind of insane. Weenie does these things called Paint by Diamonds, where you literally individually place little diamonds of color to make a portrait. And I would say that it usually takes her, it takes her anywhere between 80 and 100 hours to do one. So here is the one that she most recently finished. So it's a dragonfly. And I don't know if you can tell, but those, see how small those diamonds are?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Very, very small. I don't know how many are in this set, but she fucking, it's a whole like dragonfly portrait thing. Like far away, it looks like a painting, but it's just a bunch of little diamonds. And this is what she does.
Like a painting? Is there like a painting underneath? Or
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. And and it's just a bunch of adhesive, but like that's her thing. That's what she loves to do, is to like watch something on Twitch or YouTube and paint by diamonds. And it's crazy. I can't even believe.
Wait, are they real diamonds?
Yes, all of them.
So that's like $1 billion painting, right?
Yep, just for me.
Wow.
Yep.
Dude, you guys are killing it right now.
Purchased for $14.99 on Etsy.
The podcast was doing so good.
These sponsors, man. What's it? The Emoji Movie? They're just bringing in the money
too. Yeah.
So Jimmy, I never got to ask you what you were drinking tonight, by the way.
Well, I'm drinking I'm about literally out. I'm gonna have to run downstairs and grab some more real quick.
Okay.
But I was drinking a beer called Love Street. It's a blonde ale by Carbach Brewing. It's okay. I mean, it's like $8 for a 6-pack, and right now I'm going more quantity than quality when it comes to beer.
Yeah.
Because I've been spending more money on whiskey, so I'm spending more money buying that stuff than I'm spending buying craft beer now.
Right. Okay. By the time you taste the beer, you're already so drunk off the whiskey that it doesn't
exactly matter. So you don't have to spend as much money on, so I've been buying cheaper beers lately because I've been drinking more whiskey. So and then I'm drinking Bullet bourbon whiskey.
Yeah, I like Bullet. Yeah. The rye or the regular?
The rye.
Yeah, the rye's really good.
Rye. On the rocks. I drink it on the rocks.
Okay.
So that is my drink of choice tonight.
You want to go grab your jinkies and we'll
grab it and pop. Are you guys gonna finally take this opportunity to talk a little trash about old Jimbles that I can laugh about later?
I still love you too much, man.
I feel like this is a tactic of yours. You put pressure on us to talk shit.
No, I was hoping. I'm hopeful that because I don't know about you guys. Like, I'll listen back. Like, I won't listen to the whole podcast, but I remember we'll have some conversations, or I'll think about something there was a part that really interested me, and I might hear it better the second time around. So I'll listen to it sometimes. And when I listen back to these last couple in that section, I was just, I was hurt. It hit me here.
Right.
So that we didn't talk shit about you.
Wait, you did not.
Can you show us on your body, your person, where it hurt?
The bad man touched me here.
Okay, and when you were in the shower,
the bad men. That's you guys. Yeah, that's you. That's you.
But it was the lack of the touching.
The lack of touching.
Right. So when you were in the shower thinking about the things that you should have said, where were you touching?
Yes, it's always shower time when I'm thinking of you guys. Absolutely.
Yep.
I'm glad that you clarified that for everyone else who's listening right now.
Have you ever accidentally
shower thoughts? Only think about you two.
When was before you go and get your drink, and you have to answer this truthfully? When is the last time you went ass to mouth with your loofah accidentally, and you were like, nothing but tropical like rainforest smells, and then all of a sudden your loofah smells like poopy dookie? When was the last time that happened?
7 minutes ago.
Wow, that's recent.
Ass to mouth.
7. While you were talking about something else that was actually happening, all on camera, just really fast.
Wow. So, you just pulled it out.
I'm impressed.
Quick little refresher, huh?
Nice. I'm kind of an impressive guy.
Yeah, you are. Speaking of which, you can go and we'll talk a little
I'm just going to take my headphones off, so if you were to talk shit about me, there's no way I would know what you're saying right now.
Right.
None.
Right. What a sweetheart, huh?
When it comes to my absolute favorite people. I have
no headphones on.
Yep.
I can't hear what you're saying.
Bye, Tom.
I wonder if you can hear what we're saying.
Can't hear you.
He's got like ear pods in.
Can't hear you.
Yeah. He's got the stream on his phone going. See, what a beautiful, just thoughtful, compassionate man.
Right. He just remembers everything that we say. He goes back and he listens to what we say to really just ingrain it into his mind to really understand, what our points are. He is just such a thoughtful, beautiful it's honestly fantastic having him, knowing he is an older gentleman. He is, at the later part of his life. He definitely, this is, he's past his prime. This is his retirement here.
Emphasis on gentle, our little Benjamin Button, our middle-aged stream is. It's not even like, would I take Jimmy as a father? Absolutely. I would even go as far as to like get super smart, invent a time machine, throw my dad in it back, but like it's a time machine that also reverses your age. So take my dad, fucking zoomer boom him back to a time when it would have been considered child labor for him to work, and then sell him to some sort of factory. So then I could have Jimmy as a father instead. Like I would sell my dad into child labor just to have Jimmy as a dad. That's how impressive of a person he is.
I would go and hear me out. Like I appreciate your point that you just made. I think that's a going back in time, the time travel thing, definitely viable. But let me just kind of twist it. This is another option. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Okay. Seen the movie. Everyone's seen it. What if we got one of those machines? We just got Jimmy now. We shrunk him, told his wife and family that he just was missing. We brought him into our home. So he's like half scale.
Okay.
We raise him from the point he's at now, hoping that the shrinking mechanism actually extends his lifeline. So he's our child, right? We raise him from the point that he's at, just a small version of Jimmy.
But also cut in half age.
Yes.
Okay.
But he would keep the mustache.
So then he's 40 then.
Yeah, but he's 40, right? He's 40, and then we can enroll him in like young or like third grade soccer, right? So like we would go and root him on while he, we could be the coach of his team for once,
We could be his dad.
We could be his dads, plural.
Yes,
beautiful.
dude.
What a beautiful dude. We should sell that to Hollywood. We should sell that story to Hollywood.
Brokeback Soccer Field. Just dad's fucking on turf, dude. Nothing but black pellets in your butt crack.
Oh man, dude, I could just imagine little Jimmy running on a soccer field, just fucking decking kids and knocking them over and giving them shin splints and kicking them in the shins and knocking their shin guards out, just stepping on their ankles.
The one flaw that we could not work out of the Honey, I Shrunk My Dad machine is that facial hair stays intact. So he's 13 years old with the Tom Selleck stash and the beautiful shirt, the broad shoulders, still an alcoholic at 13 years of age.
Terrible at video games. Awful. Terrible at video games.
Still loves console. Unfortunately, the time machine could not convert him into PC Master Race as well.
Right. Yeah, he likes putting quarters and shit in machines still, right? He likes paying. He's a pay to winner, right? The more coins you put in, the further you get to go.
Are you still drawn to quarter candy machines at malls?
Fuck, gumball machines. I'm always down. Like I know, like mall gumball machines. You pop the thing out, and it's like a 10-second, flavor, and then it just tastes like dog shit.
Right.
But I think gumball machines. I'm always like, if I have a quarter, I'm like, fuck it. Like that's 25 cents. I'll fire that bad boy up, and I'll. Yeah, but everything else, like, after I hit my 20s, riding the machines, like the rocket thing that went back and forth, or like the carousel with other kids. It just got a little weird. Okay. Like me, big guy next to a bunch of kids riding carousels and shit. It was a little strange. It wasn't really me thinking that. It was the other parents. But yeah, once you get hit a certain age with facial hair, I think it's time to stop riding the kiddie rides,
Well, speaking of horsecock, welcome back, Jimmy.
Yeah. Hi, Jimmy.
Hello.
It is a little weird as an adult when you're riding a horse and your feet touch the ground and you look up and it's nothing but mom staring at you going, what is this man doing? What?
Oh my God.
Nothing.
Give me your back, dude.
Okay, if you had to choose one of us to be your dad, who would you choose?
I'd choose to be an orphan.
Fuck!
Fucking shit, dude. I knew that. I knew that was coming. Wow. I'll let you keep your retro games, and I'll give you one bottle of whiskey for your allowance.
You could have had such a mediocre sized penis if you would have chose me. God damn it, Jimmy.
I'll choose to be an orphan.
All right. Video games. It's only been an hour of a podcast on Twitch, and we haven't talked about anything other than.
Let's do it. Bullshit.
But it's okay.
Let's talk.
All right. Video games. Jimmy,
okay.
What have you been? Oh, okay. Bishop has gone back to the Emoji Movie 2 acting. Are you back? Are you back, Handyman number 4?
It's just getting hot as fuck in here, so I just
okay.
I turned on the fan.
Jimmy, video games. What you been playing?
I have been playing Cuphead in expert mode. I made it a little further on that. I have 2 more bosses on the second island, and then I've got all the bosses on the third island to finish that. So I'm about halfway through. Like half the bosses in the game I beat on expert. I've been playing I played arcade Streets of Rage 4. It was awesome. Been playing a lot of retro. The Battletoads arcade game, a bunch of obscure MAME games, some just NES and Super NES, just retro roulette titles and stuff. I played Subnautica for the first time ever last week, and ended up playing it like 5 or 6 hours. It was fun. And then I played and beat What Remains of Edith Finch, which was a good time. That was a good story game. It's like a 3-hour game. It's like one of those like walking simulator story games, basically, where you gotta click.
We need to play that.
It was a good game.
Okay.
I finished my Mass Effect 2 playthrough. Been playing Assassin's Creed off stream. I'm not Assassin's Creed, Animal Crossing off scene. I was reading the thing, AC. I'm like, Assassin's Creed. No, Animal Crossing. And then on deck, more Cuphead, and I've got to find another. I'm gonna find another like long story game to go through. I haven't decided what that's gonna be yet. So,
Witcher?
No, it's not gonna be Witcher. I mean, I want to do something before I go into Mass Effect 3 to finish it out, my second playthrough. 'Cause I haven't done a Mass Effect series playthrough for like 4 years. So I'm gonna do another game to play through soon, and I just haven't decided which game that's gonna be.
Right. Are you looking for ideas? Or do you kind of already have a list?
You could say something. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do
Witcher,
it, but no, it's not gonna be Witcher. It's not
okay
because a new playthrough of The Witcher would just be so consuming. I don't have time for a Witcher right
okay.
now.
Are you trying to aim for like a 20 to 30 hour campaign?
Yeah, 20 to 30 hour max type of experience.
You've already played Alien Isolation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I know some people would suggest the new Resident Evil remake that's out. I know that's one that's recent that would maybe worth playing, but I feel like that's a game too that I could play in 6 months and could get it for half of what I pay for it now. You know what I mean? And
side idea. So I know that you are now a no cam streamer and you have the avatar. And then a couple weeks ago, you were talking about what's kind of the point of playing a scary game if the camera isn't there to capture. Have you ever thought about doing something like you have the camera on, but there is no face lamps and you dim the camera to where you can't actually see a face, but you put a light behind you? So there's still an outline of a person, but you really can't be seen. And you could kind of like play with the camera effects so that there would still be some sort of personal,
like
something like that.
Ransom someone's family. And
it'd be like this basic. I'm thinking like I have a scene now when I'm watching like a YouTube clip or something. It's like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 with like my beer avatar Shadow, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know. I mean, that could be something, but at the same time, I mean,
you just don't want a camera. Like you just don't even want it.
Yeah, I'm already made the switch now, and I'm just like, hey, whatever. If I play a game like that, it'll be for fun, you know. I know that people enjoyed watching me freak out and whatever. I'm still gonna be shouting and screaming, and I mean that's no different. It's just you're not gonna be able to see the actual physical look of terror on my face, you know.
Sure.
You know. But,
I'm gonna launch up my Steam library kind of while you're talking and just kind of think of any other single player campaigns.
I can go. So the game that I've been playing most, obviously, is just WoW whenever I have time, but that's pretty boring. No one really gives a shit about World of Warcraft. But the thing that's actually really, really fun, and at some point I need to get you guys on it. But it's a game called Hell Let Loose, and it's basically it's a World War II sim. And I've talked about it previously, but basically you play, you have units, and then you have commanders, and then you have basically like you have your hierarchy system, but you play as one of the units in the groups, and you have a specific role. but it's like 100 versus 100 people on a massive map. So it's like Battlefield, but I don't know. I think I like it a little. It's a little bit more of a raw experience compared to Battlefield. But yeah, you get in there and people like there's a lot of milsim people in there, so they take it really, really seriously. So they're like, if you're in the command chat, everyone's like yelling at each other, like, "The fucking supplies down, Alpha Team! I told you to do that 10 minutes ago. What the fuck?" And you have all these other guys that are like, like all the infantry units are just a bunch of like, they're usually either decent people that like have played the game, or they're people that just picked it up that aren't taking it very seriously. So there's like this weird power dynamic where like the squad leaders will be like, "Hey, I need supplies down. Put them down." And this guy will be like, "Fuck, man, I don't know how to put this shit down. Please help me." So it's funny because it's all like local chat too. So you can storm into battle and just be like, "Ah!" And you see like a guy running over the hillside going like, "Ah!" And then he ends up getting shot, and then you no longer hear him. So it's funny because there's a lot of like cool little VoIP moments and stuff like that. I've been really digging the game. It's super fun. So at some point, give it a try if you haven't. The other game that I've actually been playing, I haven't, and I called it my Wii a few minutes ago. But I haven't really touched my Switch a lot at all. Like I haven't touched my Nintendo Switch at all.
I haven't either
until recently. I actually downloaded because I was like, "Fuck, I have to play this thing, or else I should just sell it at this point." Because they're like $100 over retail right now because there's not a lot of them available. I was like, if I'm not going to play it within a week, I should just sell it. So I actually downloaded Lego Harry Potter, and I've actually been playing that before I go to bed, and I've been fucking loving that game.
No shit.
Lego games are so much fun. I have so much fun playing them. They're just like it's like a
Dude,
theme
I
park
cannot
version
fucking figure you out.
What do you mean?
Your game selection.
Yeah.
It's just so
All over
fucking
the
out there, man. Oh,
Yeah.
just playing some WoW and Lego Harry Potter.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Hey,
WoW,
wizards and fucking goblins and
Legos.
I have a
Wizards and
game.
Legos.
Oh,
Have you ever played Dying Light?
I've not. I've watched people play it, but I've never played it.
Would you?
Maybe.
It's a controller game, right up your alley.
I know that there's. I just don't play a lot of FPS. I know it's not a true FPS, but it is in first person, isn't it?
Yeah. Does that kind of bug you, like eye-wise?
Like,
okay.
Part of the reason I don't play a lot of first person is it can really, especially if it's fast paced, it can be a little nausea inducing.
Oddworld.
I know. I'm an old man.
boomer.
I'm not a boomer. I'm actually a millennial.
Bishop, can we make a ruling right now to just reject that?
I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
I want to direct you to this.
Your social security card.
Your Facebook
I'm
page.
going to put it in. I'm going to direct you to
this
Wikipedia
Facebook fan
page
club
for
Okay.
millennials. I'm going to go ahead and put it in chat.
You want to know who
I
uses
wanna direct
Wikipedia
you. I
as a
just
source?
I want you to read that first line in the Wikipedia entry where it says millennials.
Millennials, also known as Generation Y, or simply Gen Y,
or Simps.
Or Simps, or all Simps, are the demographic cohort following Generation X and preceding Generation Z. Researchers and popular media use the early 1980s as the starting birth years and the mid 1990s to early 2000s as ending birth years. Timeout. It says popular media. Come on,
with
guy.
1981 to 1996, a widely accepted defining age for the generation. So I am a 1981 person, so I'm on the cusp of being a millennial.
Widely accepted. We do not fit into that demographic. We are the acute accepting committee, and we reject your millennial.
I'm on the edge of Generation X.
Okay.
This is chat. If you're watching right now, this is a boomer trying to hang on to his youth. Okay, no, it's
Dude, a boomer is 2 generations away from me, bro. My parents are boomers.
Oh man, yeah. I think I'm looking at this Wikipedia right now, and the last edit was today by a guy named Jimbo. Weird.
That's weird.
Huh.
Yeah.
Probably extended that year range from 82 to 81.
Odd.
There was another game that I had in mind for you, and I think it
What about
is
Fallout. Ever played?
I've played all of them, and I mean, to me, Fallout is like it's like eating a bowl of porridge. It's just okay, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'm not excited about it, but I'm you know, my hunger's being taken away, and it's warm and it's somewhat pleasant, but you know, in the end of the day, it's fucking porridge. So
I agree.
That's how I feel about Fallout.
I don't really, off the top of my head, you probably can't play Doom, can you? Because the first person is super fast paced.
I tried, dude. I actually played the first one.
Oh, really?
And even at 60 frames per second, it still was just it was so fast.
When Jimmy was in town last summer, I wanted to show him the 1440p 144 hertz goodness. So I booted up Overwatch, and Battlefield 5.
No, it was Battlefield 5. What you booted up.
And of course, I have my FOV cranked, so it's extra kind of fishbowl-y. And he sat down and was just like, oh man, nope. It was like a minute in. He was like, nope, can't do it. Too smooth.
Yeah, it was like overwhelming. Like, ugh.
Ori and the Blind Forest.
I have the sequel to that. I could maybe play the sequel, but I don't know if that was one I wanted to stream. I know that game.
Got you. Okay.
It's kind of like divisive on the way people feel. I mean, I've got options. I'm not trying to say I need you to sit here and come up with something. I don't know, but
I kind of got excited knowing that you were looking for a game. Like, I always get excited opening up my Steam library and like, all right, last one. Hellblade? Okay.
I didn't really get into Hellblade, dude.
Fuck.
It was too puzzly for me. Like, I didn't like all the puzzles that would show up. Like, I get stuck for half an hour, and I felt. I mean, I'm not a very smart man, despite what you guys may or may not think. But when it comes to games with puzzles, man, I can get stuck for like half an hour at the dumbest puzzle. You know,
I got stuck on that shit too. Don't you worry.
I feel so ridiculous, and sometimes Twitch chat can help you, but there's other times where you get stuck in a puzzle and no one is there at that moment that knows how to help you. So.
And also, they try and help, and they lead you astray.
Yeah. You can't always trust Twitch chat. So, yeah, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've got a few options though. So, I pick it'll be something fun.
Have you ever heard of a game called Superliminal? It's like a puzzle game. It's first person, but it's not like it's.
Did you not hear a fucking word I just said about puzzles?
You don't. But it's.
How does it feel, Jimmy?
It's like
how does it feel?
I'm trying to help you as your future father.
Hey, speaking of games, there's this puzzle game you might want to fucking try out.
It's first. Listen, it hits all the criteria. It's a puzzle game. It's first person.
You know what I want to try, actually, what I'm thinking about getting and playing through, even though I think it'd be fun to play now. I think it fits the target of around 30-something hours. I was thinking of trying that Final Fantasy VII remake, because Final Fantasy VII was the first RPG I ever played, ever. Mm-hmm. And I think the hype is kind of over now that it's been out for a couple weeks. So I think I could jump on there and play that and mix that in with some retro and maybe one or two other things, and it'd be great. So I'm really leaning toward playing that because I want to check it out.
Okay, sweet.
Best storyline games for boomers. I'm gonna send you this link here. I get a chance.
You're a fuck boy, you know that?
Yeah, the dude with his bougie haircut, his apple cider vinegar bottle, and his Under Armour.
All right, what do you got? Let's talk about Naaackers. What did you play? Let's talk about your shit.
I'm somebody who has been
Elliot, you son of a bitch. Can you mute his microphone? Can you mute his mic?
Hold on. You know what?
Mute him.
I love him too much. I can't. I could mute you really easily though, but
you
Bishop.
son of a bitch.
Oh, he muted himself. Look at that. Also, I got server muted in my own Discord server during our Halo event last week, and I felt violated.
No.
Since I've made my return to streaming, I have been testing early morning streams on Saturdays and Sundays. So streams that start from 8 a.m. and go until noon, and usually I go a little bit over. And finding games to play during that time, I thought at first was going to be a little challenging, because when you think I'm going live when it's 5 a.m. in California and it's 8 a.m. in Detroit and New York, who the hell is actually up when you go live at that time? Surprisingly, quite a few people. I'm always so blown away by going live that early on a weekend and people showing up. And so I've been like trying to brainstorm games that I've been wanting to play. And so I have gotten back into Astroneer, which is one of my top favorite games of all time. I think I have just crested the 130-hour mark. And that is a game that I can play by myself, and a game that I can play. I usually play that with Weenie, because that's like one of our favorite games to play together.
How many hours?
130 plus
total.
Yeah.
So you want to hear something funny?
Yes.
I got Animal Crossing. It came out 2 months ago.
Oh.
Just under 2 months ago.
Okay.
I have logged 150 hours in Animal Crossing.
My God.
In the 2 months that game has been released.
That's a lot.
My wife has over 200 hours.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was streaming the other day. Speaking of hours, Sonder brought up something really fucked up to me. And he said, isn't it weird that some people have more hours of watching you live than playing a video game?
Yeah.
And I was like,
interesting.
What the fuck? That fucked me up hardcore. Like, when I think about how many hours that I've put into Rocket League, and that Weenie has watched my stream for that amount of time plus 400 hours, or that other people I've spent 140 hours playing the Witcher 3 campaign. There are people who have watched 8 Witcher 3 campaigns worth of my stream.
Wow.
That putting it in that perspective absolutely blew my mind. And kind of made me emotional, to be honest. Like I kind of felt like crying a little bit.
Did you cry?
Yeah.
Really?
I was actually going to tweet this before the show. There's been quite a few times recently where I've just thought about Twitch and streaming and community, and I just get emotional. It's like I'm on my man period at all times when I think about how good we have it. Like, what an amazing thing that this space is. All bullshit and jokes aside, we are incredibly lucky to exist in this time with this technology and have all this to be able to do the things that we want. And sometimes it just sometimes it makes me emotional. But yeah, Astroneer, I've been playing a good amount of Valorant. I have dumped 3 times the amount into Valorant that I thought I would. For whatever reason, I enjoy the game. We had 3 weeks of community events in Discord playing Valorant, which was fucking awesome. And then the last week we played Halo 2 Anniversary. We had 14 people in Discord doing big team battles, doing the 8v8.
That's cool.
It was fucking awesome.
Wow.
And it's one of the only games where I accept everybody being in the same voice channel. So we had 14 fucking people in one voice channel, all playing Halo together, and rage, screaming, shrieks, it just all around great time.
Big Team Battle Halo 2 was like one of my favorite multiplayer things I've ever done.
Yep.
And I need to test that out and try that. It's just you've always, like, the last couple times you've done them, I've been streaming when you've been doing them, so I haven't been able to join.
And now you've changed. So I changed my schedule and you changed your schedule. And then I switched the day that the events were on, and we still are, they're on opposite days.
This week on Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. So I don't know. So I might be able to participate this week.
Let's do Halo on Thursday then.
Yeah,
Bishy?
I would be open on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm down. What is it? Is it on?
No. Shh.
No?
Okay.
Hey, just DM me later.
Boomers only, Bishy.
Yeah, boomers only.
Wait, hold on. Halo, are you sure you're going to be okay with that? It's first person and it's a shooter.
I can handle Halo because it's floaty and not like super fast, so it's all good. Yeah. So exactly like what Naaackers is doing. That's Halo. And I got a boomer controller in my hand, so you know.
Yeah.
I don't have the clicky clicks like with you guys with the mouse and keyboard.
That too. Oh, you're gonna have an advantage.
What's gonna piss you off is me killing you guys with a fucking controller is gonna piss you off.
Because it already has.
You're gonna be like, how the fuck did he kill me? He's got a controller, man. And I'll say, that's because you guys you fucking suck.
Dude, I have to restrain my we played Insurgency, and I have to restrain myself a little bit because like all of the guys that are inside of or a majority of them, like Naaackers, Black Wrath, I can't remember. Gary G is his new name.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Noble Pastime. All I want to do is talk so much shit to those guys when we're playing, but like I have to like restrain myself.
You can.
Shit. I guarantee you, the next time they do this and I actually play, I will be a shit talking mofo.
Do it. Last game that I've played recently that I kind of want to shout out. There might be some people who enjoy it. Project Winter. It is what do you call the camera view like StarCraft, Age of Empires, like RTS camera view? Yeah. So it's RTS. But you are controlling a single character. You all spawn into a cabin, and one or two of you are. It's like Trouble in Terrorist Town, where one of you is the terrorist, and you're all trying to complete different tasks. And there are red walkie-talkies, yellow walkie-talkies, blue walkie-talkies. Where if you have a certain walkie-talkie, you can communicate with a certain people. So you're almost playing like both sides. You're playing the innocent, bystander, but then you're also playing the dude who's gonna murder you. And we played that for a couple hours like a week or two ago, and it was a really good time. So if you enjoy the Trouble in Terrorist Town gameplay style, check out Project Winter. I'm a super sucker for low poly artwork in video games like Astroneer, Polybridge, games like that. So big pogs. Stream Daddy.
Dream Daddy.
Yeah. But that's it. Did we all get to games?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a bunch of wizardy.
Yeah, nobody cared about your games.
Shit, and then Hell Let Loose, and then you guys had fun games. So
Jimmy's gonna go back and listen to this podcast of how just mean we were to him while he was gone, and he's finally gonna feel at peace.
Good. Yeah. I can't wait. That'll be a nice treat for me tomorrow while I'm working.
Showering.
Yeah. Well, I'll be able to. This will be one of the rare moments where I'll be thinking of you guys outside of the shower.
Yes.
Right.
So, speaking of, on a totally serious note, Bishop, because you don't stream anymore, you might have still had this when you were streaming.
Yeah.
Do you guys have it where you're in the shower, in bed, falling asleep, and you think about chat messages that you read, internalized, and then forgot to respond to?
Yep. There's a few times because there's a lot of skimming that I'll do through chat just because like there's some stuff that is just like people reacting to what's happening. So like you don't want to read it out because it's they're just reacting. They just want you to they're vocalizing what they're feeling.
Right.
And there's people asking questions and stuff like that. But I typically like scan through everything and then read like one or two things. But there's been times where like after a stream's over or like I'm doing dishes or something, I'm like, oh fuck, this person asked me about something and I told them I'd get back to it at the end of the game and I never got back to it. And I'll like go and message them and find them on Discord or whatever. But yeah, it happens a lot. And I'm like, fuck, that's ridiculous. Or like I'll go back and like watch a stream and I'll be like, oh my God, I missed this completely. And it drives me crazy because it's like in the moment I have no capacity to answer that question. Because I always say this, like while you're streaming, you lose like 50% of your capacity to use your brain.
Yes.
Right? Like it for some reason, as soon as you push go live, your ability to process things just disappears. You're just like, holy fuck, okay. Fortnite, okay, let me queue. Fucking Zoomers killed me again, those little shit. Shit. But and then you just like you have no capacity to like my reading ability when I'm streaming is literally below like a second grader. Like it is dog shit. It is so bad. Like
really?
I'll like scan over something. I'll like let me just pull something out of chat. Like this is your Naaackers bot. I'd be like, oh, during the podcast, okay, host and chat. Oh, great. That's great that you're having a majority show. Great. And like that is not even close to what it says. But I'll just like skim through it. I'll be like, oh yeah, cool, man. Like great, sounds good, man. But,
how about you, Jimbo?
As far as my difficulty reading chat,
No, thinking about things that you forgot to respond to, like after the fact.
I see it sometimes because I'll pull up a VOD and then it'll be like, oh my God, I didn't even see that message. But the thing is, sometimes, especially like now when I'm playing games like Cuphead, where I literally will not be looking at chat at all. Chat could be racing by, and if I look over, I'm going to die. You know what I mean? And every time I do look over, then usually bad shit happens. So in the middle of runs, I miss stuff all the time.
Okay.
It's just part of streaming, shit. It's all good.
We have a couple points that I had thrown in. Do any of you have any topics that you wanted to get into?
No.
There was one Twitter post from someone that works at Twitch in a small capacity. They're like a wellness and health person at Twitch, and they had a tweet video or Twitter video that was basically them describing how voice chat in competitive games shouldn't be allowed because it provides people competitive advantages. And I was wondering, because obviously we don't have that clip as a reference right now. What are your guys' thoughts as far as voice chat being a competitive advantage in shooter or just competitive games in general?
No, if you're on your own team, I mean, that's no different than like communicating with teammates on like a sports field or in the military or anything else. It's just a natural part of communication. We have the technology to be able to communicate with one another. Why would we not use it?
Naaackers?
That's where I stand.
I am debating whether I want
to roast.
Not to roast, to even have this discussion because of the context behind it. Jimmy, I know you don't pay attention to Twitch drama whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I have no idea. Like I'm just like, what's the big deal of talking to your teammates while you're playing a competitive game?
Am I
wrong?
No. What I'm having a difficulty with is I never want to be a podcast or a Twitch stream that just reacts to the flavor of the week drama.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very particular.
I don't even know what this drama is.
No,
what are you guys talking about?
It's not your fault. So I'm gonna contextualize it very, very quickly, and hopefully I do it quickly. There is something that was just a team that was built called the Twitch Council of some sort, and yes, it's actually called a council.
The council, like
the council.
Are they going to like put a ring into a volcano somewhere?
Probably.
Yeah.
And also to conquer the dark side.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It is a grouping of a bunch of different people. Twitch trying to be very diverse with the people that they brought in. One of these council members is transgender, and has transitioned from one to the other. And they are they're weird.
Vocal?
No, they're just weird. They're not, like when you think about like just how a normal person acts and how they're just weird. They're not wrong. They're not bad. They're just different.
Different, right?
Yes,
okay.
And
like Bishop,
like Bishy,
right?
Yeah,
they have been using their most recent acquirement of power, and been saying some very questionable things. And one of the things that has been said is that voice comms should not be allowed because of how transgender and women and minorities are treated when they choose to use voice comms. Because
oh God, I'm gonna go ahead and channel my inner Salty Sam for a moment and just say, what the fuck? That's just a poor take.
And
a poor take.
Anybody who is listening to this right now, I need you to not rely on my summary of the story, and I need you to go and do your own research so that you can form your own opinion.
Well, I'm not going to do my own research. I'm just going off of your summary.
I know, and that's totally fine.
In real time now with this content, yeah.
And now
I really think that's bullshit. And you know what? People can have their opinions, and what's unfortunate is, like you said, now that this person is on this council or has this new position of authority, or not even necessarily authority, or clout, or being recognized by a big company, and think that they can speak out on a platform to make these. If you really I get what they're saying in the sense that yes, is there toxic behavior when there's voice comms? Sure.
Yep.
but that's not primarily why they're used. It's like, is there shit talking on the field when there's a sports game being played? Absolutely.
Yep.
But that's not the primary use for communication. It's like you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Like there's no, you can't make the correlation of. It's like saying, well, this is bad, so we have to get rid of all voice comms. It is just, I'm like, okay, shut the fuck up, right? Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. That's how I feel about it, and that's my take.
And one of the things, there's, how there's somebody who they've obviously been through a lot, and they have a reason to fight for the life that they are trying to give themselves. And how there's a difference between somebody who is trying to change the world to make it a better place, and then somebody who's trying to change the world from a place of revenge and rage.
Yeah.
It's like that is how, not saying that that's how they're doing it, but that's how they're coming off to a lot of people. And because they're using this, I am endorsed by Twitch. You can't touch me. I'm right. You're wrong. And in an effort to try and level the playing field between genders and race and minority and religion, they are also using their platform to focus on their group, or focus on a group and direct judgment towards them. And it's just, it's a big kind of a clusterfuck. So I am with you, Jimmy. I'm on both sides kind of, because when I'm playing multiplayer games with my girlfriend and we're on a team of 5, I want to be able to use comms with my girlfriend, but she doesn't use comms in video games, because as soon as she speaks up, she's met with harassment almost immediately every time.
Yeah,
and that makes me sad.
On the female side, it makes me sad too, because I'm a guy and I don't even think, because I don't get that same sort. But then again, I don't have open comms with anyone, so I'm not even the person to ask really, because I don't play a lot of multiplayer, and if I do, I'm only gonna have comms with people that I know.
Right, but you as that person in that perspective understand that voice comms for competitive gaming should not just be banned for everyone.
No.
Right. Okay.
It doesn't make any sense. It's a terrible take.
I think that the context of the clip that I saw, that I believe was specifically what is being brought up as the drama, right? Basically she was identifying the top 1% of competitive gamers, and how they use comms, and how obviously people, or minorities and women have a hard time getting into competitive gaming, and how voice comms should just be stripped out completely, because it is a barrier of entry for people if they can't handle the scrutiny. From my own perspective, every time I've played a game in the past 10 years, 15 years as a kid coming up, I get harassed all the time. I mean, we all fucking get harassed. I think we've all now been dumbed down to a certain extent. Like, you join a Call of Duty lobby, like, people harass you or fuck with you, and you just have to fuck with them back in order to like level the playing field to certain. Like, it creates like this environment of toxicity, obviously, but it becomes level at a certain point. I think that the thing that this person was specifically missing, and she even stated this, she's not a competitive gamer to any respect. But in every game that I've played at a competitive level, I've never been pro or anything, at that 0.1% or the, even the 1%. But I have played a lot of games at a very high level. As soon as you get to that level, there's a certain level of respect that, like, I've played with girls that are way better than I am, right? Like, World of Warcraft is one game where, like, you have a competitive, there's competitive avenues in the game, and there's a lot of girls that are better than me at that game. I've played Overwatch. There's a lot of girls that are better than me at that game. Obviously, if you're in like a public lobby, everyone's like, there's a bunch of fucking dumbasses that are shit at the game, and they talk shit and they make fun of everyone. If you have a high pitched voice, they'll make fun of you, and that's just, yeah, sure, that's shitty. But the idea that competitive, because she was referencing the top percentile of competitive gaming, and how they should just ban comms, because it would remove the kind of that scrutiny on those particular groups and people that are are oppressed potentially based on what their voice sounds like. I feel like it's just identifying a point that is obvious that there is really no solution to, right? And it's like, in competitive gaming, your teammates will respect you if you earn that respect and you are a top player. And I feel like it doesn't necessarily apply. Sure, there's harassment, it exists, but when it comes to the competitive level, it's still, people are shit talking back and forth between the teams, right? Like you see it in sports, you see it in gaming, you see it everywhere. But there's a certain level of respect that is earned by being like earning your place there, right? Obviously, it's, there's a lot of barriers of entry, but I think gaming is like the one thing where women have just as equal of an opportunity, and men and people of every ethnicity have every single opportunity that that a white guy has, right? It just feels like it's kind of like identifying something that isn't necessarily that critical of an issue and stating that it's there and coming up with a crazy resolution for no reason.
Right.
That's my take on it.
Reason this is not to like say like, look at me, I get harassment too, just kind of like a funny thing. I was playing Valorant the other day and some dude had TTTV or TTV in his username. So naturally, I know like that doesn't work in today's, but anytime I see TTV, I go, okay, I want to see what kind of streamer you are, just because I'm genuinely curious. And there was this dude being an asshole, not using voice comms, texting on his phone in between rounds, talking shit. And so he was saying things on his stream that he wasn't saying in VoIP, and I was responding to things that he was saying. The motherfucker reported my Valorant account for cheating because I was watching his stream. I'm like, I fucking hate you so much. I did get a couple smiles out of him, but just funny shit.
I mean, people will find any opportunity to fuck with you in gaming because there's no actual personal, like, I'm not seeing your face when I'm playing a game with you.
Right.
If I like Jimmy was, and we were just talking about it for like your event, and if Jimmy's going to complain or come in and play Halo, like if I killed Jimmy and I was like, oh, that was so easy. Wow, that was really easy. Holy shit! Like, were you AFK? People do that just to get into the other person's head.
Yeah.
And like they will use every piece of like just shit talking in general. People will use every piece of ammunition that they can get and they'll throw it at you. I think people like just in general, just as a general rule, I think people that hyper focus on people's sexuality or sex or whatever it is, or their voice, it just shows like that they're not that intelligent and then they can't articulate another way to fuck with you. You know what I mean? Like it shows that they're a fucking idiot. Like if there's a girl playing and there's a guy that's just like, oh, go back to the kitchen and make me a sandwich. It's like, dude, like, wow, that's so fucking creative, guy. Like you are so fucking funny. Like no one actually finds, like, obviously it's annoying for females, but obviously that guy's a fucking idiot. And like it's like, that's such a low blow and easy cop out bullshit that it's like, it's not creative. It shows how the lack of intelligence that person has.
Absolutely. Yeah, because as soon as you hear, like, I've obviously been playing video games with a grill for the past couple of years. A lot of multiplayer lobbies. And obviously because people are streaming, there's way more eyes on, and there's so many female content creators that play at a competitive level. And I still have never seen the harassment that they get, like, personally. It obviously happens, but I don't know, it's like, it's obviously a problem, and it's just the way that it's now coming back into the light, and like the solutions don't really make sense at the moment, but we'll just gotta let it play out, you know?
Yeah. And I think, despite everything else, obviously there is an issue with like just people being assholes in voice comms just in general. But I think that the way that the video was framed, and you guys could go and watch the clip so you get an idea for yourselves of what was actually said, but it's kind of like, and this is out of context and kind of on a tangent, but it's like say you have two families, they have the exact same amount of income, they're in the exact same situation, they live in the exact same city, exact same amount of expenses, everything is the same between two couples. They end up having having a kid. One has twins and one doesn't have a twin. One just has one child. It's like, if based on that event, if I was like, oh, there's clearly a disadvantage now financially for the one couple that had twins because they had two children, and now they have more expenses. It's like, okay, great. Thanks for pointing that out. Like, that's so obvious. Like, that makes total sense. But like, great. what's the solution?
What now?
Like,
yeah,
what's the solution? Oh, let's just take it all away. Let's just fucking
right.
let's
take
just
their kids.
delete it all. Yeah, take the kid away because it's not unfair. Like the situation is unfair, and it just doesn't really like pointing it out. It's like, great, you guys got together in a fire circle and you beat your drums and you came up with you identified a problem that exists, and it's okay. Like this is a known thing. This isn't new information, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I so bad, like the content creator deep inside me wanted to bring this topic to light and to talk about it. And the fight that I always have before I start a podcast is, can we take this discussion about this? It's drama. I mean, it's nothing more than drama right now, and it will be gone in 2 weeks when everybody forgets about it. Will this drama live past its normal 7-day lifespan? And is there a conversation that we can have that is constructive and can bring value to the audience? And I'm glad that, I'm not saying that I'm bummed that we talked about it. I'm glad that we still touched on it, because what I want to talk about might not necessarily be the things that you want to talk about. But I didn't see a way where we could talk about that solution or that situation as a whole and come out the other end with like, well, this is what we can all do, better.
Exactly,
yeah. But
and that's exactly what that was. The whole thing is just in general is it's like I have nothing to apply that could actually make it a better situation,
right?
Because it's just like it's such a it's like there's no actual direction within what's being identified. It's like, okay, here's a problem, let's just strip it out completely. It's like, well, so you're not looking at any of the benefits that having voice comms has in competitive gaming, just in general. Developing players, being able to communicate back and forth. It's just like there's no thought whatsoever. So to combat it with a thoughtful process is very difficult, right? Because it's just, you can't go down that route because you're like, well, where do I start? Because clearly this person didn't think this through at all.
Right. Oh, you're a white male? Opinion doesn't matter. Sorry.
Yeah, you don't matter. Shut your mouth.
You guys want to do some Q&A?
Hell yeah, brother.
All right. Jimbo, Bishop, did you have any other topics that you wanted to touch on before we did?
No.
I want to touch on Jimmy's mustache, but
please, man.
Don't worry.
I mean, as
We're
long
getting
as
to
you don't
that.
get within 6 feet, you're good.
Yeah, okay.
Social distance.
Wear gloves.
Have you guys seen any public social distancing hangouts lately?
No.
So we went to go pick up burgers, and there was 2 groups of friends, each with either like a truck or a Jeep, and they were tailgating, but each sitting in their own tailgate in parking spots across from each other. And they were just cool, like drinking and hanging out at a distance.
I've had 2 friends over to my house, and we've sat apart. I have a back porch, and I just put chair on the other side, and we've sat and we've been able to hang out and drink beer and just hang out even without being within 6 feet of each other. And that's been something that I think some people dismiss a little bit, how much we need social interactions. But I would encourage you to, even if you can't hug someone or physically be close to someone, you can still hang out with somebody else and social distance. And that really has gone a long way toward helping my own mental health, is having those opportunities lately. And then, of course, the other thing being Twitch. Twitch is the social interaction I get thanks to Twitch has been huge from both the streaming side and from the viewer side. Like, I've had a lot of conversations. Like, I've been watching and consuming a lot of Twitch lately, and getting those interactions. It's nice. It's nice to, because you're missing some of that. I know I've been missing some of that I'm not getting from my normal day to day.
I'm currently listening to a book right now called Maybe You Should Talk to Someone. It's a book written by a therapist who has to go to therapy after a breakup. And in the middle of the book, she was just talking about different diseases that she comes in contact with. And there is something called psychomotor retardation. And it is basically what happens to people who are in depressive states because of the lack of touching that they get. So people who get down really deep down into dark places, they stop seeing other people and they stop just getting any sort of human contact with other people. And there's actually something that happens in the brain called psychomotor retardation, where you actually feel worse off because of the lack of touching that you have from another human being.
I don't I don't know the scientific terms and everything else, but I do know they've done studies on like just how animals and things progress in life and stages, and animals and people who get less contact usually have worse end results,
Runs of the litter,
mental and social, emotional results, because they don't have the physical contact that everyone else gets,
which is
And
crazy.
Cues
It
up
is
our
crazy.
sponsor for today, Fleshlights.
Yeah, Fleshlight as our stream sponsor. Perfect.
Get the feeling of another
personal
person
contact
in the
in a
comfort
package.
of your own home without
right,
having to
hit those
talk to
cues,
anybody.
baby.
Got you. All right, first question comes from last week when Girthy asked, so what could a new stream...
Right.
Yeah, I didn't think I forgot, Girthy.
I forgot already.
What could you do as a new streamer to help avoid that? Context at the end. I'd like to think I have a good personality and can interact with people well, but I'd probably fall into the same trap. Context, talking about the lollipop, where you have this awkward phase of streaming when there's this protective layer over your personality that eventually goes away as you lick, and get to the
I'm gonna give you my answer real quick, and then I'll let these guys jump in. My answer to that, Girthy, is it's like practice. It's like riding a bike. I mean, it's like Michael Jordan doesn't become the great basketball player by not practicing free throws. You know what I mean? Like, you just have to keep doing it, and eventually that little weird sheen goes away. And I still have cringe, stupid moments than I do all the time, but they're far fewer. But they're far less than they were my first year or two of streaming. So that would be that's the advice I can give. Just keep practicing, and it's like riding a bicycle. Eventually you phase out that awkwardness. It just takes time. I mean, it's different for everyone. I mean, some people just aren't good. I don't know you, and I'm not trying to make any judgment on you. Some people are just not entertaining. Some people are just not meant to stream.
It's like riding a bike. At some point, you replace your bike seat with a dildo.
Some people weren't meant to ride a bicycle. You know what I mean? Like, and so I'm not saying you weren't meant to stream. I'm just saying for some people that curve may be really, or that might be really steep. It might be multiple years before they could possibly break into it. For me, it took a year, 2 years. It took me about two years to even to break to where I was feeling okay, you know? So yeah, maybe 3 years.
Yeah. Go back and look at my streams from 2016,
3 years,
2017.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, probably 3.
What do you think, Bishop? What could you do as a streamer to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop faster?
I don't think that it's an objective of like trying to, because it's not like a straight path where like you're trying to get to an end goal. It's like something that you have to develop over time, and you are going to slip backwards. You're going to have shitty streams. You're going to have streams where you're talking to yourself and chat just disappears and there's no one there to talk back, and it's, you know, it's disheartening and stuff like that. It's not like it's a direct path, right? Like it's kind of you're going to take plenty of tangents where you try new things and things work out, and you start to get create a new identity where you're creative, and then sometimes you're creative as an individual and you're making things, you're reacting to the games that you're playing and making them more interesting. And then you're going to have times where you play multiplayer games, and sometimes it just feels like you're along for the ride, right? It's all part of a journey. So like and I said this a few podcasts ago, expect to have really shitty streams. It's not, you're going to start, everyone starts and everyone creates shit content for a while. And sometimes it takes a really long time, but it is all learning. It's all practice, like Jimmy said. The way to, I think in my experience that I've been able to avoid a lot of the awkwardness is finding a handful of people that share common interests. So like at first I had, one of my first viewers was my buddy Dover, and he's now a friend of mine. But he would come back to my stream every now and then, and we'd talk about stuff, and he would allow me to keep it less awkward by we would share common interests and just talk about After Effects and stuff like that. So I think having, obviously sourcing people from different places, whether it be through your friends list on Steam or from gaming communities that you've been involved in, pulling them into the stream maybe to play with them. as you start to develop and just get comfortable with having the camera on you, or, if you're someone that's not playing or not streaming with the camera on you, maybe just getting used to communicating with chat and creating an experience that's more entertaining. It's going to take some time. So surround yourself with people. I mean, that's the best way to make things less awkward. It's just to surround yourself with people. If it was just me on this podcast right now, it would be a completely different story, and I'd probably be sitting here for like 10 minutes waiting for people to show up. So it is awkward, right? It is awkward. You expect it to be awkward, but you can mitigate that with human interaction,
Yep.
And that's just communicating with people, bringing people in voice, and maybe just chatting with them. And yeah, that's the best way I can think of to avoid to skip a few of the steps in the learning process.
Yep. You are never going to get rid of the shit phase. You are going to have the shit phase. And most people will try to diminish that by trying to get the most high quality stuff there is in every aspect of their stream. They think that the more high quality that everything is about their stream, the less people will pay attention to how stale of an entertainer you are in the beginning. So I have a couple pointers. One, watch your fucking VODs. Watch your VODs. Make note of the things that you don't like that you do. Literally write them down. Put it on a sticky note. Put it on your monitor. Every once in a while, you'll look down. You'll get a little bit of a reminder of the thing that you hate about yourself, and you will try to change it. Now, don't go crazy. Don't hate yourself, okay? I'm just saying.
My monitor looks like a sun with sticky notes going around it.
Second, have an anonymous Google form in your chat that people can fill out that can give you constructive criticism. People are way more inclined to give you feedback if they don't have to stand by it. They are more willing to say, hey, this thing that you did the other day wasn't that great. Or, hey, you seem to do this type of thing every day. You leave your stream for 15 minutes and eat and come back. And that's just not cool. Always try to encourage constructive criticism. Ask your mods. Ask your best friends, hey, what do you not like about my stream? If you have the balls to go to one of your best friends and say, tell me what you don't like about my stream, you will have a really, really good time. But like we've all kind of alluded to, there is nothing that you're going to be able to do to completely get rid of that awkward time of you starting out being a broadcaster. You're going to do all of the wrong things. What you just have to promise yourself is that you will try to reflect on those things, build on them, and move forward, and you will eventually get to a place. You are on your own road trip in your own car. You are going to take different roads. You're going to take some shortcuts, and then you're going to take the long way a couple times when it feels like everybody else is getting there way faster than you are. You are on your own clock. Do not let anybody else's clock dictate your journey, or else you're just going to have a bad time.
I like that. I think I stated it in a small visual representation, and that was streaming is a log of shit with honey roasted peanuts in it, and while you're eating it, you're eating this shit with honey roasted peanuts in it, and it's terrible. And there's little moments where you crunch into a peanut that has the nice sugary taste to it, and you're like, oh, that's pretty good. Okay, now it's tasting like shit again. Okay, oh, I got another peanut. It's exactly what streaming is. It's just shit, and then you have little moments and little pockets of goodness, and then it's going to get shitty again, and then it's going to get good, and then it's going to get shitty. And sometimes you might get 3 peanuts together.
Yeah, and a little caramel
and shit. Yeah. So every streamer has the shit. No one is all a big bag of honey roasted peanuts.
Yeah. I saw last point. I saw a small clip on Twitter the other day featuring Pitbull, the Grammy award-winning songwriter here in the United States, and he said,
"Mr. Worldwide."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
he's good, man.
If you were to get everything you wanted every time, and you were always successful, and you never had any hardships, you would never fucking get anywhere. If you never had any opposing force telling you no, or telling you you're failing, or you suck, you would never push forward. So you have to embrace those moments in order to grow. All right, next question from Dreadnoughty. Whose mustache is better?
Ooh.
Now,
okay, so this is a multi-part question. If we're talking mustaches here, we have totally different genre of mustache. So it really depends on your personal preference. If you're somebody that likes people that were, ruffians or scalawags in the late 19th century, then you got to go Naaackers. Okay. If you want to go with a more modern look, a zoomer from the modern era, then you got to go Elliot. You got to go Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
If you prefer your late 70s to early 80s porn stash, Burt Reynolds-esque type mustache, then you go with myself. So we all have very distinct mustache styles.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It really just depends on what you prefer personally. But I can appreciate all your mustaches, guys. I really like your Wyatt Earp mustache, Naaackers. I really like your douchey Zoomer mustache, Elliot. So
hey, thank you, Jimmy.
A Regan from Whole Foods.
Yeah. If I ever have
aisle 17 is they sell the same mustache there.
If I ever have a fire to put out, I will give you a call and you can show up with your red truck, Jimmy. Thank you so much.
What is your wife's current state of mustache love here in 2020, Jimmy?
Oh, if I never shaved it off, she'd be okay.
Really?
She loves it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Like she never wants me to shave it ever again.
Is it a part of you now?
I'll leave it at that.
Interesting.
No, it's more for looks,
Sure. And rides.
Yeah.
So I think we're all gonna be gentlemen and treat each other with respect and just say that
Jimmy's mustache is the best.
Exactly, because we're gonna be nice to him because he hates it when we're super nice.
We've got plenty of years in us left. He's
you gotta give me something. If I can win Best Mustache 2020 award, you know what? I'll put that on my refrigerator. Yeah, put that on my fridge.
All right, it's yours. It's yours.
Thank you. That's right here, man. Can we actually get something made?
No, I'm not willing to validate it that much.
Any money? I'm not saying you do. Like, I'd be willing to throw in like money, but I want to get it certified, and so it's not going to do me any good to just proclaim myself that I have the best mustache 2020 without certification. It needs some authenticity. So I would need you guys to confirm that.
I got you. I'll work on something.
Okay.
I can make you something.
Next question. We can make that happen, Jimmy.
Cool.
Maybe. Next question. This one was actually from Twitter, from Snaps. Do y'all meditate?
I do breathing techniques. I don't do true meditation. I tried. I'm very bad at it. And I know that's and I've listened to Snaps and I enjoy Snaps. I lurk in there quite a bit, but I just can't. I have a hard time focusing, I guess. I don't know.
Same.
I do a better job of just taking moments where I feel like I do moments throughout the day where I'll just stop and I'll breathe for like 30 seconds. I'll do breathing exercises. And that's my meditation. I know it's not true meditation, I guess, but that's what I do. And I do that usually a couple times throughout the day. So
I nap. I just take naps constantly, just constantly sleeping. That's
really
usually how. No, I take naps in the afternoon. Yeah. I wish
if you work from home, naps are great.
Dude, they're so nice. You wake up and you're fully refreshed. It's the best cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I wish that I took more time to focus on my thoughts, because I'm always just being pulled away from things. And even when I sit down on like a yoga mat or some shit and stretch or whatever, because I used to go to the gym actively and just stretch for 15 minutes before working out. Like it was something that I
stretch your hair.
Yeah, just stretch my hair out, just stretch, my fingernails, just get the
oh God.
Yeah. Just take things and just jam them into your fingernails to stretch them out,
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah. Just cleave them up with a
cleave?
God.
But no, yeah, I wish I had more time. I really need to start taking care of that part of life, because like I feel like my identity is turning into working, and I don't like that. Like I need to take time to like realize my I need to internalize things, right? No, opposite of internalize things. I need to,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I feel like I'm listening to myself talk from December 2019, to be honest. Yeah. I had fallen off of meditating for about the past month, but I'm not going that hard about it. I'm not getting myself down about it too hard.
You're not getting yourself that hard about it?
You're not getting hard anymore.
Son of a bitch.
How hard are you right now? Actually,
semi.
About it?
It's about a semi right now.
Okay.
I'm trying not to get down on myself. I'm trying not to go down on myself about getting too hard about it.
I mean, you can go down on yourself, dude. It's okay. It's 2020. No one's gonna judge.
I'm Marilyn Manson myself. My ribs gone.
Get them ribs out, baby. Fucking McRib, McNackers, McDown on myself.
Oh my god. Heyo. For the past month, I have not been as diligent. I probably get in a couple a week, where in January, February, March, I was an every single day meditator, like almost one of the first things in the morning. COVID derailed my meditation schedule and my workout schedule. It just
COVID derailed quite a few things.
Almost every part of life it derailed.
It's really inconveniencing me. This is really just
it's been very inconveniencing.
You know what? Next time you see a line to In-N-Out, just cut it, dude. Just get in front of everybody.
It's funny because going back to that, like they're cutting the line, but there's like 50 other restaurants that are open around there that they could have gone to, but they're like cutting everyone else because they're ignorant fuck faces.
Ignorant fucks. Yes, I am a meditator. I have found the value of meditating since the beginning of the year. I'm a huge fan of it. Sometimes I just do breathing techniques with a little bit of meditation afterwards. Sometimes I do 20-minute guided meditation sessions, depending on how I'm feeling. I cannot recommend it enough. I absolutely love it. All right. We got 7 questions to nail in 5 minutes. First question, Hellhound, is Cuphead the pinnacle of games to play in 2020?
Yes. Expert only.
There you go. Panzer Bjorn asks, does Jimbo clean up good or what? Did you clean up for the podcast?
I took a shower today. I put on a new shirt like I always do.
Woo.
Do I look good?
You look good. Man. You look very good.
Yeah. You guys like the way I look? I will say this. I have actually lost 14 pounds in the last 2 months.
Why? Like, I know how, I will say.
I am eating less.
Being home?
Yes, I actually have lost weight.
I was actually going to make a comment beforehand that it looked like you look skinny. Oh, yeah.
I lost 14, but here's the thing. It's because my appetite, it's nothing I'm doing. It's my appetite is being suppressed from the medication that I'm on now.
Oh.
And so like I don't eat as much. Like I eat 1, maybe 2 meals a day.
My man.
Like I'm down to the intermittent fasting basically.
Yeah!
Like I don't eat and I'm okay with it. Like it's working out for me. Working from home, it works out for me.
What do I got to do to get your wife's fried chicken recipe?
She does everything like by eye, dude. Like it's all by like I told her about you wanting it and she's like, I don't know how to tell him because I don't really measure stuff. I do it by hand. I said, well, I will video you making the fried chicken and send that to you.
If she just lists the ingredients that she uses, I can go off of that. That's totally fine.
No, I've already thought of this, dude. I'm gonna videotape her making fried chicken.
Okay.
Like not the whole start to finish, like nonstop. Just the steps, like everything that she does, and I'll send it to you so you can see how she makes it.
Please do. Okay, thank you.
All right, next question.
Next question from Dreadnoughty. Is there a free password manager that you recommend, Naaackers? Part 1 of the answer. If a product is free, you are the product.
never trusts anything free with that sort of information that is beyond private. I personally recommend 1Password after using LastPass, Dashlane, and 1Password. 1Password is $3 or $4 a month and is absolutely fantastic. That is the one that I recommend. They all do different things. Me being somebody whose mobile life is primarily in the Apple ecosystem, iOS is built extremely well into iOS. Having Face ID, being able to get into your passwords is convenient as fuck and highly recommended. I know Jimmy doesn't use a password manager. Bishop, do you use a password manager?
I actually was looking at one recently because my a lot of my gaming accounts I use like some bullshit password for like Epic Games. I don't use one for Steam. I use two-factor, but like you play all of like anything that isn't Steam that's on my PC, and a lot of them have been getting hacked recently. So
wow.
actually considering doing it. I use some pretty hardcore passwords, but yeah, I was actually looking into that recently to do 1Password.
Okay. I'm gonna post a link in chat. It is a password generator. So mathematically, it is the most difficult to try and crack passwords that are words, regular ass words, separated by spaces. Because in the way that brute force applications crack passwords, if you just have like a word that substitutes letters for numbers and maybe like a couple symbols at the end, it can take 2 to 3 days to crack that password with the right application. Easy. If you have a password that's 16 characters, that's just 4 words separated by spaces, it can take upwards to, let's see, what was the time? I want to say years, like hundreds of years to crack that. So really? The link in chat is a password generator that once you get a password manager, when you're creating all of your accounts and you need passwords for, it's just a 4-word generator that works amazing for passwords. And of course, it's nothing that you have to ever remember. So it's easy.
Okay.
Next question from Middle-Aged Streamer is explicitly barred from answering. How did that? Was that an alt account that put that in there?
A what?
This is super weird. Wait. Oh, this is the part 2 of the question. Part 2 of the question is Middle-Aged Streamer is explicitly barred from answering. Dreadnoughty knows what's up. Dreadnoughty knows that Middle-Aged Streamer doesn't use a password manager. Already getting the good details. Next question from Paul. What is the best or good life advice you've gotten that made a difference? I already know mine. And I'm super ashamed to say that it's a Gary Vee quote, but it is. That's just my life. One day he was talking about the absolute worst thing that you want to have the most of when you're 80 years old and staring death in the face is regret. Think about being 80, 85, 90, sitting in a chair that you shit yourself in, looking back at your life. Do you want to be filled with regret? Or do you want to be filled with all the memories that you have of you going out and trying to do shit?
Yeah.
That's what drives me every single day, is a little bit of existential dread, but more so the possibility of being old and looking back at my life and going, I had all of this free time. I had all of this motivation, and I just didn't do anything about it. I just coasted. That is the thing that scares me more than anything.
I think recently the one for me is I don't know whose quote it is, but it's half of success is showing up, and that for a lot of things, just showing up and doing things and just putting your time into them, you can figure it out if you just show up. You know, if it's a job, if you just show up, you can figure shit out. People will work with you and teach you things if you just show that you're committed to being available.
Yeah. For me, it's you control your attitude. There's a lot of things that are outside of your control in life. Attitude is one thing that we all have control over, and I have to remember a lot of times that attitude can make a big difference in how my day goes. So I have to choose my attitude daily. And there's times that it's challenged, man. As a father, as a husband, as a teacher and a coach and streamer, All the hats that I wear in life, I am challenged by that. But I think choosing your attitude is and choosing the right one that can make a big difference in life. And I always try and remind myself of that. So, yeah.
One of the biggest challenges with my last job was a couple of teammates that I had that rubbed off on me in the absolute worst ways. And I was struggling. I was struggling so hard to maintain my normal, upbeat, positive thinking attitude being around these people. And when I would talk to, I remember reaching out to Snaps about it and saying, like, this person fucks up my day every single day. What do I do? And her response was along the lines of, why do you let that person fuck up your day every day? It's not their responsibility to impact you in a certain way. It is up to you to take a stand and decide how that person affects you. And to Jimmy's point of, you decide your attitude, how you interact with people, you can decide how things go which way. And that was kind of like a gut punch. I was like, God damn it, Snaps, why couldn't you just tell me something easy instead of putting me to work? Like, that was my initial reaction. But then once you think about it, it's like, you know what? She's absolutely fucking right. This is on me. It is on me to control how I act and how I feel for the day. So cool. Last question from Dreadnoughty. How does everyone feel about the new channel layouts on Twitch?
They moved the chat pop out. It's no longer where it used to be, and it's a new URL, which is annoying. It's just like I think that they're fixing a lot of the challenges with their just their hierarchy of their URLs. Like you used to have to type in a bunch of shit to get to your chat pop out.
Yeah.
But now it's just your channel and then /chat, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good. It's super convenient now, but like I mean, everyone hates change. But besides that, I think it's fine. It's just a matter of finding things over again.
They made follower count visible again where it wasn't before. I thought that was actually kind of weird.
I don't know, man. I do know. The only thing that's annoying is, I mean, it's cool. Like, I've actually need to do the channel introduction video on that they've added in now. I haven't made one yet. I have a couple ideas churning, and I will eventually have one to put in that space. And I think that's a neat thing that, if someone comes across your channel and they want to watch a short minute or less video about it, that's cool. So
yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's definitely like YouTube, right? Like, you go to a YouTube channel and you get like I think that they're adding a few features that are very cool.
Yeah.
It kind of seems to me like they're catching up in a way, but they're all good things as long as they don't strip out any of the main functionality. I mean, obviously I haven't been streaming, so it's hard for me to determine. I'm more of a viewer than I am a streamer now, but like I haven't really noticed much besides that. Like, it hasn't been harder to subscribe for me. It hasn't been harder to find channels. I've noticed, in most cases, I've actually been able to find channels that I actually want to watch a little bit more readily, like even channels that I don't follow, like the suggested page.
My channel.
Yeah. So the suggested page is doing quite a bit to actually funnel me.
It keeps suggesting you to refollow my channel, right?
yeah.
And you keep refusing to click on it. You're like, I unfollowed that channel for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch this guy, please.
A couple personal notes. One, I like that they have the channel trailer. It's something aside from your bio that you can put there. Having a video as a trailer feeds into our short attention spans as humans here in 2020. If you want to get the general feel of what somebody's channel is like, you can go to their channel, play the channel trailer, and get a good idea within the first 15 to 30 seconds. One thing I like, the viewer count goes up and down by single integers. So if you're watching a big streamer, you can see viewer count go up and down in single integers instead of it refreshing every little while. I always thought that's kind of cool. Like, I just watched Summon 1G go from 27,067 to 28,082, and it just kind of goes up and down. I hate the font choice that they have. Not a fan of that whatsoever. Go back to whatever you had. I like how it is simplified, but at the same time, they've added a little bit more context to, they've given personality personality to your channel page instead of it just being the same as everybody fucking else's.
No, they're doing a good job. I mean, they're all improvements that I think that are good. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they also moved the header when you first arrived to someone's channel. They moved it underneath the video, where I think that the video is the most important thing when someone's live before anything else. Right?
Now there's a little shimmer animation around your avatar when you're live as well, and a live.
A little tag.
Yep. So and it shows uptime by default, which is cool as well.
Yeah.
Instead of having to have a BTTV or whatever for it, but overall, as far as how it impacts the content that I create. It doesn't. So like I don't think about it too hard, but it's a nice little thing. I wish they would change how the fuck collections would work, or the video producer, or just the general performance of the website. I know. Okay, I'll stop.
Wait,
right
have
there.
you seen the schedule that they implemented?
Yeah, that's cool too.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I didn't notice that.
I just set mine for repeating, even though my schedule is not going to match up with me this week because I have a weird different schedule, but whatever.
I mean, basically just another round of Twitch taking features that third-party applications have been using for decades.
They just implemented things that other people have done for years. Yeah.
Well, you have to realize that for like a majority of like the normie users of Twitch that just aren't like integrated into using BTTV and all of the like. It's nice to have all of these in one place where it's expected. It's in the exact same place in every single channel. I actually like that they're doing that. Honestly, I could give a shit if Twitch goes and steals every single idea that is a good idea and just puts it into their platform because it would just be beneficial to us at the end of the day.
Agreed.
Just Apple Computer that shit, man.
Yeah, just there's the IP, bitch. That's mine now.
All right, everybody, that is it for the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast tonight. Thank you so very much for hanging out with us. We're going to go around the room for the first time tonight, have everybody introduce their social media, what they're doing online, and where you can find them online. So, MiddleAgedStream, why don't we start with you, buddy?
All right. My name is Jimmy, a.k.a. MiddleAgedStream. You can find me on Twitch and Instagram at MiddleAgedStream, MiddleAgedStream on Twitter. This week, you guys can catch me Monday, Wednesday, Saturday on Twitch, 8 Central Standard. But yeah, that's where I'll be this week.
I will be. My name is BishopGP, but first of all, aka Elliot. You can find me on Twitter at Bishop Was Here. You can also find me in Jimmy's chat every now and then. I'll hey guys you, or in Casey's stream. I have a few broadcasts this week to do. We're getting back into the schedule for season 2 of these motorsports broadcasts for UMG. So I'll be doing a lot of that and not have a ton of time to play games, but it's all gaming oriented, so it should be pretty fun.
Good shit, man. My name is Naaackers. You can find me on this very Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Naaackers, or you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Naaackers with 3 A's. I don't know where the hell Jimmy just, I guess he had to pee. He probably had to go.
He's over. He did his exit and now he's gone.
And now we can talk shit about him.
Yeah, and honestly, if that was our kid, or in the event that we could shrink him, this would be spanking time. We'll have to talk about that if we're going to allow that.
I'm down with that. Next week, I believe it's next week. Yeah, next week is the very first Crocs and Hot Pockets Roulette, where we will be bringing brand new guests on 15 minutes at a time. So we're going to have 7 brand new guests on the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. They will be joining MiddleAgedStream and Bishop and myself, and it's the first time we're doing a podcast like this ever, and it's super awesome. Sign-ups for the Crocs and Hot Pockets Roulette are currently open. And
they're impossible to find, but
they are really easy.
You're not going to get in because it's impossible to figure out.
It's impossible to find them, but you can try.
I'm going to post a link in chat, and it's a link to a tweet that not only has the instructions in text format, but if you're a lazy asshole, in video format as well. So if you want a shot at being on the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast, you bring the topic, you bring the content, and we're going to have a gay old time.
I'll bring the balls and the mustache.
Yeah, buddy. So yeah, you will see us live next Sunday, and you will also see this particular podcast live in 2 weeks as well. If you want to stick around to rate another channel, I would highly suggest it. But other than that, thank you very much for listening to this podcast, whether you're here now or here in the future. Jimmy, Bishop, thank you very much for joining me tonight. It was an awesome show as always. We will see you next weekend for the next episode. You all have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you and good night. Thank you very much for checking out this episode of the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. If you would like to catch the show live, it airs on Twitch on my channel at twitch.tv/Naaackers at 9 p.m. every single Sunday. If you would like to check out the most recent episode of the podcast, you can probably click this little box here. And if you feel like checking out some of our highlights, you can maybe click this little box down here. And maybe I'll even put a little thing for you to click right here. No? Bye.